Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, April 29, I think, yes, 2024, here for my weekly cross-stitching update, and I have a good amount to show. This week was pretty nice. This coming week, I don't know. It's going to be busy, so we'll have to see if I can get anything done this week, but I think we can just jump right in. I don't have any acquisitions, I don't think, so we'll start with my temperature piece. This video might be kind of short, but that's okay. I feel a cold coming on and yeah, there's a lot going on. But I figured I'd still pop in so I don't forget what I worked on this week. So this is my temperature turtles from my Etsy shop. It's my pattern, and this is where I got to. This is 28 count Caribbean blue Jobelan 1/1 full cross. And I got caught up on the patches of April, which took a long time. I think there were about 15. So normally there's 7, you know, because I like to stitch about 1 week at a time. So that was a lot, but it took time away from spring montage yesterday, but that's okay. It feels good to be caught up finally with the patches, at least. So there's 3 more patches there in April, plus which is yesterday and then today and tomorrow. And then I have the rest of the appendages, and then I can start May. So next week, I will continue to push forward. It'd be nice to finish all the bits and bobs in April, just to be done with it next week, but we'll see how the day goes. I don't want to keep always not working on spring montage, but I kind of want to get more caught up on this. Thankfully, at the beginning of each month, there's the little patches around the outside are very small, so they go pretty quickly. So if I can stay caught up on working on it every week, I should be able to get back on track with not getting behind, and be able to have a little bit more time. So I also wanted to point out, finally got into some brighter yellows, the first 80s we've had this year, here in April, and we haven't had anything even close to that since January. Which is so strange. So there were some warmer temperatures in January than February or March. So April finally warming up a little bit, but it's still popping back and forth. Like there's purple there, some purple here. This is a lighter, like a 60, 50, maybe this is 50 something. Which one was that? 62, I guess. This is 62. And this is like 88. So that's kind of, this one up here was one of the 50s. So yeah, it's kind of all over the place. But today's another sunny day. So the next May's turtle, should be a lot warmer in tone. Because I think it is starting to warm up. I did some on Cats and Hearts. My son had a lot of after school practices, which doesn't lend well to getting a lot done on this. And he should have had one today, but then it got canceled. So maybe I'll get a little bit more time on this week. Cats and Hearts by Kitty and Me Designs. I'm working on April. So I'm not behind yet, but I will be very soon because I'm nowhere near finished with this. So this will keep going into May, and that's all right. I will keep plugging away at these. I knew it was possible I'd maybe get behind in the summer anyways, because my travel stitching is different in the summer. It's either non-existent or a lot, depending on if we're home or on vacation. But I don't have the travel, like the school pickup line opportunities like I do in the school year. So this is where this is at now. 25 count, even weave, 1/1 full cross. I finished the medium green. And I started in on the light green, and then there's a very light green as well. So I do have some more green to do. The light green is done down here, but I started in on this patch up here, which will have light and very light green, as well as some dark green backstitching eventually. Got a good amount of the kitty done because we had some orthodontist appointments for my kids. So that's helpful to do during stuff like that. So yeah, that's where that's at now. I think I'm gonna do the yellow next. because the red is a lot of it, and the red has back stitching. So if I do the yellow next, then I can do all the reds, and then the last red, I can maybe do light red through dark red, and then the dark red, do the back stitching when I have that one out, then go back and do the dark green back stitching after that. That's kind of my plan on that one. I worked a little bit on my Frosted Pumpkin stitch along. This is the 2023 stitch along. It ended this year in February, and they're about to start their next one, which I will not be doing. I was thinking about it. I haven't really done, I did Under the Sea the year before, but most of these that I have done have been people related ones, not animal related ones. The animal ones are cute, but I think for some reason I'm a little bit more drawn to the people ones, because I've done, what's over here? I did this one, which is the Storytime Sampler, and I did both of the National Parks ones. I did Under the Sea. Oh, I did a teacup one. That's right. That didn't have any characters in it really. But yeah. Anyways, so I'm okay with not doing that one. I'll really enjoy seeing everybody else's though. It's very cute. I think if my daughter was more into cross stitching, she might be interested in that one because she does like Arctic animals. But she will cross stitch for maybe 5 minutes every 2 or 3 months. She's not really gonna be able to keep up on a year-long stitch along, so that's all right. All right, I have my thread still on my needle, so let's kind of get that off in the corner here so it's not as distracting. This is a light blue, ice blue Lugana in 28 count, 1/1, full cross with my own fancy floss conversion, similar to what's called for. I worked on brown this time. I think I did some dark gray in the castle door, but then I worked on brown, got the trunk in, and then figured I would color complete at this point, up at the top here. So I'm doing her face and hands right now. And then I think there's a horse that has that brown color in it in the jousting scene, and oh, there was some pulls in these banners that I did already too. So I think I'll just color complete in this top section so that I can maximize my efficiency when I have a color on my needle. And I think I might go back and forth between white clouds and fun color, white clouds, fun color, to get those knocked out as well. So next time I might work on some white, so I don't leave that all till the end. So that's plugging away. And I also worked on my newest, or newer, not my newest, but one of my new starts, Flower Teapot by Soda Stitch. I started this a couple weeks ago with my friend Desiree, and we'll work on this only when we're chatting. So we chatted this past week, and so I can go over here. I did a lot. I did more than I did last time, which was a little unusual. So I'm not sure how I was doing so great, but I won't complain. So this is where I got to. This is 32 count Tiki Oasis linen by Oak Crown Studios, and I'm doing it 2/2. So far, all the called for colors except for this dark gold. It's like a medium gold, actually. There's a darker one. They wanted it to be bright orange, and I said no thank you. So I picked a gold that better ranged between the darkest gold that will show up in the teapots later, and then the yellow. I like it much better, and to me it looks more like the cover. I got the tiniest little start on the roses there in that first teapot too, so that's really exciting. So next time I can focus in more on those on that first teapot, since I got both corner motifs done. So I did the boring bits first. Now I can move down. And yeah, focus in on, so I'll be working in on this rose teapot. Desiree started in the middle, which is these poppies. So it's fun to be somewhere different, to be able to kind of see different parts of the chart come together. All right. Regular stitching. I started out with Lollipop for a couple days, which is my last family piece for April. So this is by Tilton Crafts, and it's very pretty. I'm up here in the clouds in the corner, and it's looking pretty cool. I didn't get a ton done. Life is just busy, but I'm still happy with how it's looking. So I got total 403 half stitches. This is 40 count Vertical 1/1 half cross, and it's now at 2.57%. So you can see like these are blending nicely in here. And I just carry my string wherever it ran, so you can kind of see the edges of where the clouds are going to be too. So pretty soon I'll be able to churn out some larger chunks of color once I get back over to these colors. I think this started because over here I think had one of those colors, and that's just where it went. But then I got not bogged down, because it was really fun to work on, but kind of slowed down, I guess, in these purples, because there were quite a few shades, and then, you know, they went down instead of over. So that's fun. So that's where that's at right now. I'll bring that out again next month, probably towards the end of the month. So far, I'm planning to do, I think I mentioned this before, in order of age. So I'll do my husband's first, then my older son, younger son, daughter, and then once they get finished, I can shift them up in the rotation and work on them more than once a month, every 3 weeks, you know, once my son's is done. Or I might work on my parents' anniversary piece in there, and then when that's done, I'll shrink it to a shorter rotation. But we'll see how that goes. So far it's once a month, so that's easy. Then I had a new start, because I was planning to start this in May with Stitch Witch Cat here on Flosstube. I think she might still have her channel up, but she hasn't made videos in a while. She's on Instagram. Do I have this? There it is. All right. I started the Rainbow Princess. I was planning to start this in May with Kat, and who designed this, and she decided she would prefer to start it on the 24th of April, because she was at a good stopping point with her other one. And so I kind of flip-flopped my May new start, my April new start. So I started this past week. I'll be starting my May new start my formerly April new start this week at the end of the week for May. So I'm not adding a new start, I'm just moving it. But this one was fun. I really enjoyed working on it. Total, I got done 697 full crosses, so not too shabby over the course of 2 days. So this is 25 count khaki even weave 1/1 full cross. I thought the full crosses would be fun with this piece, but I also have been feeling like it would be nice to do another full coverage piece 1/1 full cross on 25 count, because I'm enjoying my cats and hearts so much that I want another full coverage like that. And I'm like, well, let's do this one that way. So it's a decent sized piece. It's now at 0.34%, so it's got a long way to go. But I really enjoyed working on this. This is like the top little corner. There's like a bush thing up there. It's framing the picture. Keep losing my paper. So up there in the corner, that all had similar colors that weren't found anywhere else except for maybe on the other side. So once I'm out of there, I'm almost out of there, it'll be these lighter colors, and then the castle. Haha, so that'll be fun. Probably won't bring this out again until next year, but we'll see. I liked there's lots of colors. They're all very bright and fun, but it wasn't fiddly. The colors flowed pretty nicely. There was only one color, I think, that had like 2 stitches. It was a darker shade, but most of them had, you know, a nice amount, and you just kind of flowed through the area. Not blocks of color, but they flowed nicely. And so I appreciate that. The charting was nice. So if you're wondering, so far so good. And Kat will probably keep working on it until she gets at least a page finished. And I think she started in the middle with the lady's dress. So that'll be really fun to see. So if you're curious about that, you can go follow her on Instagram. She's posting progress every little bit on that one. Then I worked on Lady of the Flag, which was my final WIPGO call for April. This is on my non-full coverage WIPGO board. So I had fun with this. I still have like a mental block with my Mirabilias that they're going to be hard because I'm still in that mindset of huge paper chart and it's kind of hard to follow the symbols sometimes. But since I've been working on a PDF reader now where I take pictures and just highlight with my finger, it's not bad. And as soon as I get started, I really enjoy myself. So it's just like a mental block that before I get started, I'm like, do I want to work on that? Not really, but I should. And then I get it out. I'm like, oh, this is fun. How much more can I do? So I just got to get in there and do it. But I still have that mental block sometimes on these pieces. So anyways, did a good amount on this time. So this is 32 count Stony Point linen by Witchelt. So it's really see-through and stiff, but it's actually really nice to stitch on, especially as an in-hand stitcher. It holds its own. The threads, you know, pull smoothly. I really enjoyed working on this actually. So I decided to make sure things were finished on the top. So I did enough around her sleeve area to backstitch her arm. So that's complete. I pulled down some Krynic in the flagpole, so that's done. I did a little bit over here and a tiny bit right here because it was extended from this. But I started in, I realized she's holding a bunch of flowers right here. In her other hand, this is her other arm that's coming, here's her hand from, it'll be kind of behind things over here, I think too. But she's holding some flowers. I'm like, oh, that'll be fun to work on. So I am not being super strict about fully typewriter method. You know, I have to finish a certain block before I can do another one, but I was generally trying to like make sure things were done up higher before I went down too low. So I did a little bit all the way across. And that was fun. So, yeah, I got that out for 2 days and then I worked a little bit yesterday on spring montage. Very little bit. This is by Pain Free Crafts because I was still trying to get caught up on my temperature turtles. This one kind of got the short end of the stick. But I did get a acceptable amount of stitches on it. 147 to be exact, and these are full crosses. Which again, I thought would be nice for the detail in this piece to be full crosses. So this is 28 count. How far over does that go? Like right about there. 28 count mushroom Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And 147 stitches won't show up too much, but there were a few colors in there that were darker. But I did do some of a lighter color that ended up extending quite a bit along the border. The halfway point is right about here, so I went past that a little bit. It's, yeah, right there, I can feel it. It blends in a little bit. But I did some darker shades in the flowers and in, you know, this bunch of whatever that's right here. I don't know what, more flowers probably. So I am working my way across. I'll probably work my way on this one all the way across to the other side. Filling out, choosing symbols in 10 by 10 squares. So I'm still choosing symbols out of the same 10 by 10 square right here because it's so many, it's very confetti heavy. You pick one color scattered all around here. So I generally pick a shorter string to make sure I can not have to go too far counting, and then pick another one, do just a few stitches. I think I had gotten 4 or 5 colors before I even hit 100 stitches. So maybe more than that even. But from here over, the 10 by 10 squares are completed along the top row, so that's nice. And I'll just keep going that way. This will keep coming out in May for most Sundays. I just realized, oh, I didn't bring it. I totally forgot. This first Sunday in May, I'm going to be doing something different. You just saw it though, so I might just put up a picture for my before. So I'll show you in plans here in just a second, but most Sundays in May, I'll be bringing this out and get a little bit more work done on that before returning to my Celtic Ladies collage for a month in June. So plans, which I didn't look at before. I thought I knew what they were, but I forgot. So first off, I'll be working on Dragon Ride. Finally, I kind of didn't work on this much at all during April, which is unfortunate, but I was working a lot on my model stitch and various other things. So I'm coming back to Dragon Ride, hopefully for a cruise to the finish, because I want to get this done by the end of the month. So hopefully I don't have to bump anything to get it done. I have today and tomorrow, which are the last 2 days of April, plus Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going to give it 4 days this week. They're going to be busy days. I've got something going on every single evening, but I'll do my best and see what we can do. Then every Wednesday, Thursday for the rest of the month. So worst case, I can bump some family pieces, or I can bump spring montage. I don't want to bump my Whipco pieces because I don't want to get behind on Whipco. So hopefully I can get this done in the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days I've given it. I have back stitching and beading is what I have left. So do I have more? Let's see, shall we? Yes, I've got all the border done too. So back stitching and beading is all I have left. So it's been a few weeks since I've showed this, but I'm sure you have not forgotten if you've been here before. So it's kind of wrinkly. 28 count even weave by MCG Textiles. And this is my starting point. I can do it, guys. I'm still working on the blue backstitching, and then there's like 500 other colors of backstitching. Not literally. The border looks significantly different once the backstitching goes in. But all that's left in that border is backstitching and beads. So, yep, we'll see how it goes. I'll give that 4 days this week. And then I will be having my May new start, which was my April new start. This is called Azure Ornament. And I think, was this from Smarty Owl on Etsy? Or was that a different one? There's her name. Julia Leonova. Let's see if I can find her Etsy shop. I didn't look this up. This one has a lot of specialty stitches in it and a lot of step-by-step instructions. So I'm hoping it'll go nice and smoothly. There we go. There's a floss key. Well, I'll write it on the screen. I think it was Smarty Owl, but I could be wrong where I got this from. It was an Etsy shop, and I will not be doing this colorway. I will be doing this colorway. So it does pop wonderfully off of the black, but I was given some 24 count Congress cloth, which is stiffer than regular cross-stitching fabric. It's meant for counted canvas and things of that nature. I've done some full coverages on it. It's really great. And I picked out some silks for you that I thought looked pretty on this blue Congress cloth. So mine will be smaller than what was called for and very different color scheme. But I'm excited to try all these fun specialty stitches. So wish me luck. Hopefully the instructions will be easy enough to understand. There's that I can make sense of it, and we'll be able to have something to show you next week. And then this Sunday, instead of spring montage, I'm actually going to work on Delightful Waltz again, which I worked on earlier in April, actually. Yeah, just a couple weeks ago. So this is because it's Rainy from Rainy Day Reads' birthday on the 5th, and she was talking about, she's here on Instagram, or YouTube and Instagram, and she was talking about, wouldn't it be fun if she chose, instead of a birthday stitch along or start along or stitch along where you kind of, you work on something and everyone else picks something similar, she thought it'd be fun for her birthday to choose her friends, to tell them to work on a certain project that she wants them to work on, that she likes. Say, hey, I want you to work on that one that you already have started. That would be really fun. So I'm like, hey, me too, I'll sign up. And she chose Delightful Waltz by Artisy because we kind of started this together for my birthday, actually, in September. So she started Mini Night Cafe, also by Leonid Afromov, and which was like a restart, third time restart, and she finally is enjoying it and is like going gangbusters on it. We'll hopefully finish it by the end of the year. That's her goal. But because we're Afromov buddies with this piece, she thought it'd be fun for me to work on this again for her birthday. So I'll be pulling this out on Sunday. Hopefully my temperature turtles won't take too long and I can get some nice progress on it. I just noticed I'm getting close to where the man's head is because I think I'm right around here in the background. So that'll be fun. Maybe I'll get to that. So yeah, I'll be working on that on Sunday and then I'll go back to spring montage for the rest of the Sundays in May. So I think that, I thought I should maybe just run through. I am going to work, the WIPGO calls for May were called, I didn't bring them up to show you. It was just too much work. But the two full coverages were Hidden Harbor by Andy Russell, which I love. So that'll be fun to work on again. And Patchwork Quilt Room by Ciro Marchetti, I'm pretty sure. Where is it? I'm missing all the ones that are right here in the middle. There it is. This is Quick Stitch Patchwork Quilt Room, which is already a crop, but I'm cropping it even more. I'm just doing that much there on the bottom. The kitties and the kitty and the teapot and the sewing accoutrement. So that's what I'll be working on for that. And then the ones that were non-full coverage that were called were Ashley's Roses by Mirabilia and Time for Myself by Soda Stitch. And because I'm buddy stitching that with Colette, the highway stitcher, I checked in with her to see what would be a good time to work on it, and she actually suggested the 31st and June 1st. So the very end of May would work the best for her. So looking at the calendar, like, you know what, that would work fine too, because the beginning of June is all by its little self there on a Saturday, and I like to do WIPGOs on a Friday, Saturday. So I still have 4 WIPGO slots in June if I do it that way. So I'm like, that'll work perfectly. Otherwise, I'd have to figure out something to do on the first all by its little self. So I still have, so that way I can do my new start and I can still do all 4 WIPGO pieces on Friday, Saturday. So my new start will hopefully get a little bit more attention than it would have if I had started it on the first midweek. So that's the plan. Yeah, I think that's everything for now. I hope you have a wonderful stitchy week. Enjoy spring or autumn wherever you are, and yeah, just try to get a little rest in where you can, and happy stitching. Bye.